I came to spill the tea, and I spilled it on my damn self. Great start to the new series. So fun story, I have an obsession with trashy paranormal shows. A Haunting, My Haunted House, you name it, my stupid ass has watched it. Hiding in the comments, of course, because I'm a bigger coward than Headmaster Lionheart. But unlike him, I'm not an idiot who's about to get himself killed. Fuck off, Windows! No, fuck off. Oh my god, I don't care about your update. You need to update all the time. Fuck off. I'm in the middle of something. I'm in the middle of being professional. I'm not really sure how this series is gonna work, but fuck it, try new things, and if they suck, embrace the memes that follow. That is the mantra of the internet. And so let us embark on our first Sass Wednesday voyage across the Long Island Sound to Connecticut, or as I like to call it, connect the cuts I'm about to inflict upon the very first episode of A Haunting. Now, real talk, I'm iffy on the idea of spirits in general, but given that this was indeed a true story in the sense that the family in this specific special are, well, real people, not just characters, I want to make it clear I'm going to be discussing the way they are portrayed here, independent of who they might be in real life. Think of this as its own horror movie separate from whatever reality it might have existed from, like in an alternate universe. I know, that's a lot to demand of you, but try to keep up or else you'll be the target of my next episode, okay? So without further ado, let's jump into this hot friggin' mess. We begin with a family in crisis. The oldest son, Paul, has recently been diagnosed with cancer, and his parents have had to drive him to and from his treatments from their upstate New York home all the way to the center in Connecticut. Because the trips are having such a terrible impact on him, the family is looking for a place to rent close to the hospital within their tight budget. So naturally, we find a swanky-ass place that's actually surprisingly affordable, only to realize the reason it's so cheap is because it actually used to be
a funeral home?
What?
But they don't really have a choice because apparently the landlord didn't disclose this before they signed the contract because they suck. So while the father Mark stays behind to work, only being able to visit on the weekends, the mother Karen is forced with taking care of all the kids by herself, deciding to keep the home's past a secret from them. Of course, things only get worse when
I started getting nervous that I was ruining the floor.
Wait, hold up. You're worried about the floor? Not the pool of blood you're leaving everywhere? But of course, someone probably slipped something into your drink. It couldn't possibly be tied into the dark past of this conspicuously cheap rental property. Sweet potato lord. And things get weirder when nope. But the boys in particular are noticing some odd occurrences, like
we saw a guy in the basement.
And it was really dark and we couldn't see him.
Well, way to negate your own statement. Not to mention that when the younger brother Matt heads to the makeshift freezer down in the morgue. Nobody, fuck that, nope.
I just heard a voice down in the basement calling for Paul.
Where's the bread?
Priorities! Though I'll be real, this would be me as a parent. Food before the children. Eventually, the boys' lights are taken out since they've been keeping them on at night, causing the electric bill to skyrocket. Of course, the ghost fucks with the lights and poses their sister to lure the younger brother upstairs, leaving Paul all to the demon.
He decided to confront the voice.
Maybe don't follow the creepy voice into the morgue. Just a thought. Oh no! Nope. This man in the suit continues to torment Paul, telling him to do terrible things. What terrible things? I don't know. It's never really that specific, but I imagine it's things like putting bleach in food. Eventually, Paul becomes an edgelord and gets into that evil rock and roll. You can really hear the sins in those riffs.
He just went downhill.
Their cousin Teresa, having family troubles of her own, comes to stay, only to be attacked by Paul. Eventually, Paul's sent to the hospital to be kept under observation, as the family is worried he's losing his mind. Though when he's committed, he warns the family.
Now that I'm out of the house, they'll be after you.
He's not wrong. And of course, he's right. Shit gets cray as Karen and Teresa are attacked, as is Mark, proving that this thing can follow them wherever they go. And so, with the church going,
the best defense against such evil is to ignore it.
Yeah, cause when I'm being assaulted, my go-to response is to ignore my stab wound so I can peacefully bleed to death. Anyway, we contact some paranormal experts to help, including the renowned Ed and Lorraine Warren. Turns out, we need an exorcism up in this bitch, cause there's a portal straight down to hell in this place. How the fuck did that happen? Quite frankly, I don't want to know. The researchers move into the house to document the haunting, and everybody camps out in the living room to stay safe. But this thing ain't done, oh no. It makes the mattresses breathe, literally, what the actual fuck, and then starts targeting Karen over her guilt for not believing her kids. Then one night, a researcher, John Sass, decides it'd be a good idea to wander away from the safety of the group. Because, you know, it's not like splitting up has ever led to anything bad before. And so he so he decides to leave, and I cannot fucking blame him. It was still a terrible decision though, like, seriously, don't wander off in the middle of the night in a creepy morgue that's haunted by demons. Father Frank arrives to inspect the home, and he'll be deciding whether or not we'll need to exorcise this bitch. But good news, we got one! Woo! Not that the church will talk about it. Father Richard comes to cleanse the house before the exorcism, trying to ignore the entity's provocations. The exorcism begins, and shit goes full cray. At one point, Teresa is even choked and levitated. The house is successfully purged of the malevolence, but still, the family decides to move out because fuck that, it ain't worth the chance of this shit happening again. Oh no, we're not doing this again. Paul has fully recovered, and all is well. So what is my take on all this? Well, I can tell you one thing. I'll never go into this place, that's for damn sure. You see, I may not be religious, but this kind of stuff freaks me the fuck out. I got enough problems to deal with, and I most certainly don't need to add hellish nightmares to the list. Of course, if you want to go to this place, whatever happens to you ain't my fault. I'm not the moronic protagonist of every B-grade horror movie ever. So all in all, I couldn't really be all that sassy. Yeah, on its own, I don't have many problems with this. It spends a lot of time building up the eerie atmosphere and then goes full throttle at the end. And I legit got chills quite a few times. From what I remember, the earlier seasons of Haunting are actually quite interesting. They do a pretty good job at building this genuinely unnerving atmosphere, unlike the later seasons, which are quite campy, to say the least. So now, I'm naturally going to be fucking terrified when I go to sleep for the next few weeks. I do this for you people, and trust that if I wind up haunted myself from this shit, I will be vlogging about it. Do it for the AdSense, when I get approved, that is. I'm the Unicorn of War, and this has been a shit show.